Welcome to the Bohemian podcast, where we discuss IT engineering. I'm Serhii Botulinskyi, and I work as an engineering manager at Pure Storage. Today, I want to share something that's close to my heart. The biggest mistakes I see engineers make when they are looking for their next job opportunity. I've been interviewing engineers for almost 2 decades now, and I keep seeing the same patterns over and over again. Whether you're just starting your career or you are a seasoned professional, these insights could save you months of frustration and help you land that dream job. So let's dive into 7 biggest mistakes I see and, more importantly, how you can avoid them. The first mistake is having an outdated job profile. Whether that's your LinkedIn profile, your code on GitHub, your personal website, or any resume at any other platform. It needs to be current. But here's where people get confused. Up to date doesn't mean listing every single technology you've ever touched during your career. Some of those might be under NDA, others might not be relevant anymore. Instead, you should focus on the technologies you're genuinely excited about and would like to work with. Show your passion, not just, the job history. Second mistake is what I call the concrete wall strategy. I see candidates bulk sending their resume to every single job posting that contains a few keywords they recognize. It's like, throwing darts at a concrete wall and hoping one will stick. Here's the thing. After a million attempts, sure, one might stick, but you'll waste thousands of hours in the process. Instead, try this. Pick a specific domain you're passionate about. Maybe it's fintech, maybe it's game development, maybe it's healthcare. Then narrow that down to just a handful of companies that really excite you because of what they do. So throw your darts into the board instead of the concrete wall. And here's the key part. Tailor your resume for each role. Don't just copy paste. Highlight the skills and experiences that directly match with what the companies are looking for. So throw your darts in the center of the board and you'll win the game. Mistake number 3 is skipping research about the company. And I mean really understanding the company, not just browsing their homepage to check the box. Start with the basics. How does this company make money? What's their core product? Are they a freshly baked startup that's still raising funds, or are they a mature company that's gone public? Who are the company competitors? What's the company outlook for the next few years? Whether you want to work at your current location, relocate, or work remotely, understand why they are hiring in that location specifically and which other locations you'll interact most with. This research isn't just about, impressing the interviewer. It's about making sure that this company is actually a good fit for where you want your career to go. The fourth mistake is assuming you figure out the role from the job description alone. Let me give you an example. A DevOps role at retail bank is somewhat different from the same one at a software startup. An SRE position, cloud-native company, might not match the same SRE at the company running multiple data centers. So the day-to-day reality could vary from what you're imagining, and you need to take notes during your initial research. Split those into categories, and then prepare to ask specific questions about what a typical day looks like, what tools they use, what their biggest challenges are, how do they measure success. So by the end of interview, you should have crystal clear picture of what's expected, both from you and the company. Mistake number 5 is downplaying your own preferences and thinking, I'll eventually make it work. I see this all the time. Here is an example. Someone is looking for a new job because their current role has too many on-call responsibilities. And let's say it's affecting their family life. But then they go and apply for the role with similar on-call requirements, thinking it'll somehow be different this time. Another example. Candidates go through an entire interview process, pass all the technical rounds, only to realize at the final stage that, their family is actually ready to relocate. So from day one, be honest about your requirements, whether that's a visa sponsorship, family relocation, or a specific work schedule to accommodate your family needs. It saves everyone time and prevents disappointment later. The 6th mistake is being an average person or average candidate instead of demonstrating how you stand out. Depending on the role and the company you're applying for, you could be competing against hundreds or even thousands of other candidates. And here's what most people do wrong. They present a generic story. Either sending a message to LinkedIn or attaching a cover letter. Majority starts with something like, I have 15 years of DevOps experience, or I have 10 years in Serhii. That gives me little data. Why would you succeed at this role? Instead, demonstrate that you've done the initial research I mentioned earlier. If I'm hiring for a storage company and the role mentions Elk Stack, start with something like, I saw you are hiring for a necessary role in the storage company, so I have specific experience building large-scale monitoring systems at geographically distributed data centers. Is that what you're looking for here? That one sentence opens the door because it shows you took time to understand both the company and the role. But here's the secret sauce. Add something genuinely unique about yourself. Tell a story that makes you stand out of the crowd. Maybe you contribute to open source projects. Maybe you are involved in some charity events. Maybe you have an interesting hobby that reveals your, superpower. So sharing these details makes you memorable. Now, this last one might actually sound crazy, but hear me out. The biggest mistake is applying for a job at the very beginning of the process. Here is an alternative approach. Having someone to refer you for the job opening after you've done the whole research, of course. To enable this, you should build a network of your peers and leverage it. This peer network should be industry diverse too. I'll give you an example. During COVID, pharma companies continued hiring, while travel and hospitality companies were not. They were mostly laying people off. After COVID, it flipped, and it might flip again. If you don't have a network yet, that should be your top priority. Take online group courses, attend local meetups, go to conferences, even if you have to pay for them yourself, or at the very least, have lunch with your former colleagues and ask how they are doing. Your network isn't just for finding jobs when you are ready to change. One day, it may act as your safety net if you face a layoff. Studies show that anywhere from 40 to 85% of jobs are filled through referrals, depending on the industry, of course. Even if you don't get the job through the referral, make sure you leave a good impression with the recruitment team. They remember most interesting candidates and are likely to stay in touch when new positions open up. So to wrap this up, I want to leave you with something one of the VPs I worked with once told me. The company doesn't interview me, I interview the company. So let that sink in. Interview process goes both ways. You're not just trying to impress interviewers, you're evaluating whether their company is the right fit for your career, for development goals, and future you. I'd love to hear your own job search story and experience, so feel free to post it in the comments below. Thank you for listening, and I wish you good luck interviewing your next employer.